Good evening, everyone. Bring that beat back. Make sure we say that.
Yes.
Bring that beat back, DJ.
Okay.
All right. So welcome to the Fourcast. We review movies, films, documentaries in a completely different way, 4 different perspectives. One of those perspectives is on a beach in Costa Rica, swimming with sharks and sea lions and iguanas and all types of stuff. But so Dawk will not be on tonight, but we brought on some special guests so we can do a collabo, a BS3 collabo. We love bringing different shows together and getting everyone's perspective. So we have Ben and Irene Sudderth. Those are my parents as well. Plug. And they are hosts of the Sudds-R-Us Podcast. So welcome to the show. Glad to have you guys. First time on the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Glad to be a part.
All right. So we normally kind of go around the room. Shout out to the people tuning in. We'll get to the chat here in a minute. But we're reviewing Nope. It's a film by Jordan Peele. He's the writer and director. He's done Get Out. He's also done Us. And he's also done some of the Twilight Zone, thanks to Wilkes. He was the one that actually told me about that. I did not know that. So
some Twilight Zone.
All right. So he's doing some of everything. But definitely looking forward to tonight's show. Like I said, we got a BS3 collabo. But initial thoughts. Let's go to some initial thoughts, and we'll go to our guest first.
You want to go? He is just deep. I mean, just some of the scenes are like, I run that back because I don't quite understand. But I was hesitant to watch based on other people's comments, but you can't go by other people. It was well done. I think it was well done. Watched it 3 times. So trying to capture it,
Because you had to, or because you wanted to?
Huh?
Because you had to, or because you wanted to?
Well, because I wanted to. You miss some stuff. It's deep. I mean, you gotta, you really gotta slow roll it a little bit. But I enjoyed it.
Awesome. All right. That.
Same here. We had to go back over to we got everything. But Jordan Peele, I like his movies, and I watched, them and Us and Get Out. So I was excited about it, but I knew the brother's deep. I mean, he always got some subliminal messages in his movie, so you just can't take it as face value.
Yeah,
right.
There's always something that's really pointing to the African American history and what we've been through, and the results of what we've been through. So you got the seniors here. So I got some nuggets for you. I got to do my research. You know how we do it on Sudds-R-Us now.
Right.
I'm ready.
Don't give you opinions.
Yeah.
Yes, we give you facts. So I had to dig deep, man. So I did a little research. I got some stuff for you tonight.
All right. Let's get to the chat real quick. Raider Kev, thank you for tuning in. He says, "What's up, fam?" Chief Rock in the building says, "What's up, fellas, Mr. and Mrs." Then we got Big Illinois. Is that the Good Times?
Yes.
James graphic right there. He said, "What's up, fellas? Showing love. Haven't seen this, so I'll have to check back after I see Nope." And it's gonna be free eventually on Peacock. They have not done it yet. We paid for it, but it will eventually be free. So just be on the lookout for that. Right. Pastor Di, thank you for tuning in. He said checking in. And this is probably one of the newer films that we've done. We normally kind of do stuff after it's been out for a little while, so this was kind of fairly new. But we'll go to H-Rap B.
Yeah, it was interesting.
He's being nice.
I'm being nice. I'm gonna leave it there. It was
tough critic. That's the tough critic right there. We're gonna help you out tonight. We're gonna help you out.
There you go. Help me out. I'll be the student tonight.
You're not one of those that's saying nope is a nope, are you?
Absolutely.
All right, and we got
it's a maybe.
it looks like Keisha, but she looked like she changed her name to Walker LaShawn. You have to explain that for us, Keisha. But she said, "Hey, everyone." So I thought Dawk was gonna be on an island, but it looks like he's available. Is that you? Is it?
I am not really available.
It's a hologram.
Yeah, this ain't real life.
Yeah.
I just wanted to come on and say this movie sucks. I'm just kidding. I'm a Jordan Peele fan, and I like everything he does. But I was able to secure a decent internet service here, a Wi-Fi signal. So I just wanted to pop on real quick and say hello to Mama and Papa Sudderth. I really don't care nothing about the rest of the guys on here, but I wanted to give a shout out to Mama and Papa and thank them personally for filling in for me. I'm sure the show will take an upturn as a result.
There you go. You got
I appreciate you, Doc.
Man, enjoy
your time. Enjoy your vacation.
Oh, definitely.
Make sure you get
We'll
that
see
back.
y'all. I'll drink one for you. I'm gonna have to get rebaptized. When I get back to town. See y'all later.
Don't drink with your pinky up.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you. All right, I figured he was gonna pop in for a minute just to say hi, but that was Island Dawk. Like you said, he's got his probably toes in the sand somewhere. All right, Wilkes, we did not talk about this at work, by the way. We did not talk about this.
Really?
Go ahead, Wilkes.
I know.
So,
the Wilkes says the movie was effing garbage, but the movie lover in me, this movie is underlying genius.
oh, there you
There you
go.
go.
Because I really cannot wait to get into talking about the shape of this spacecraft
Mm-hmm.
that made an appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, even from the music, matter of fact, there's a group called The Lost Generation. They were playing an album from The Lost Generation.
Mm-hmm.
The lyrics in that song was pretty much talking about like how his grandmother, your generation, wasn't afraid to talk, but yet you were scared to walk the way you walked, because it was like, well, I can speak my mind, but it's gonna piss off some white people and they're not gonna like it too much.
Mm-hmm.
But what you're not going to do is you're not gonna shut me up, because you're not gonna treat me lesser than a person.
Mm-hmm.
So this movie, and just like Jordan Peele, once again, it definitely is going to go a little bit deeper than what, and like you said, at face value, if you're looking, here's what I like to say: if you're looking at this movie full speed ahead, you're gonna miss it.
That's it.
That's right.
If you're looking at this movie slowly and picking it apart and catching the references and taking it deeper than it should be, then I think you'll come out with different perspectives and interest in the movie. That's just my opinion, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's
All right. And Keisha says the movie was awesome. I enjoyed every second of it. I mean, that's a big time statement right there. Because I know she's a movie watcher as well.
Yeah.
All right, so let's kind of get into it. So I think one of the interesting things about the film is right out the gate, it pulls up a scripture that says, "I will cast abominable filth at you, make you vile, and make you a spectacle." And I was thinking about that scripture throughout the movie. I don't know how it necessarily connected. So I'm gonna go ahead, Wilkes. I'm gonna reach out to the group.
Let me just go ahead right now and show you why it connected. And I'm just gonna skip ahead about the shape of this spaceship, and other people may have different opinions. So the eyes are a window into the mind, into the soul. This spaceship is in the shape of an eye at certain points, a retina. When there's a close-up, you can see, if you've noticed, when you put a light in your eye, you see the different textures in your pupils. Well, the ship at one point, if it is truly what they say, it's our eyes are a window into our mind and into our bodies. It's literally, we're taking in so much garbage. We're literally looking at things that, there's a reason why we tell kids, oh, don't watch that horror movie. Don't watch that scary movie, because now you've subconsciously planted that seed by watching that.
Right.
It may not happen today. It may not happen tomorrow. But because your eyes have allowed that in, your mind has recorded that. Your mind has filtered. Your mind has altered. It has shaped it to what you think. Your mind will even tell you it's okay because you saw something that you shouldn't have seen.
Mm-hmm.
So just like that spaceship, it was spitting out those things that did not fit, that it did not want. But yet it kept those things that it could nurture and think that I can manipulate and use, and then regurgitate it. It was pretty. It's
Wilkes.
Okay,
pretty crazy.
Okay, Will. Let me go this way, because the preacher in me, we just can't look at the scripture. We got to put it in its proper context.
Oh, absolutely.
But when you look at the scripture, you have to always go back to the previous verse or verses to get
absolutely.
the actual context of the scripture. So in that particular chapter of Nahum, when you go back to verse 1, I know it talks about the vile and also the abominable filth, but the actual chapter is talking about the end of Nineveh. Now you know why Job didn't want to go to Nineveh. John didn't want to go to Nineveh because they were sinful, they were evil, wicked. So when you look at it, it's like, because the alien is not really a ship. It's not a spacecraft. It's an actual alien that was able to form, and almost like the ship is like a shell. And then when it came at the end of the movie, you see it came out of his shell.
It fully, it
fully showed his actual appearance. So to me, I look at it as, because when you look at the shape of it at the end, it looks like an angel.
It does. And then there's
or a butterfly.
Or a butterfly. But to me, it was an angel. So when you look at the contents of the scripture, God is sending abomination and damnation to this particular island of Nineveh because of their sinful ways. So this actual alien, you can put it in the context.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely.
And he's coming to punish man for the evil ways. Now, when you look at the whole context of Peele, talking about how the black people have been wronged, we can get it there. I know you want to get there. I'm not going to go there yet.
No, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
But he talked about at the beginning how Hayward, as Hayward Hollywood horses, were not really given their right representation and acknowledgement as being the only black Hollywood animal trainer.
Right.
Then when she referenced the first jockey was black, and that was her great-great-grandfather, then you see how because of the mistreatment that they've been receiving, that this can be a punishment. Now, the question is, he was basically feeding off of horses, and we'll get into Jude, I know later on, but that's how I interpreted that scripture when I fit it into the context of the actual movie.
Good point.
No, that's
now
awesome.
to the historical aspect, A-Trap, I know you're that's kind of your realm. Did you tie anything historically to the first Black Horseman or the Hayward Hollywood horses?
Now, when she referenced it, I was kind of like with your dad. I tied it into the events of our community. We've been overlooked for centuries. And it like she mentioned at the very beginning, she was like, the first 4 seconds of this movie showed a black man, and basically, I took that as, look, we everything starts with us and it ends with us and it's developed by us, but we never get any credit. It's kind of like what your dad was just saying in regards to the scripture. Now, when you talk about the scripture and you bring that portion up, what I look at it from this guy who I read a lot of his stuff and I listen to a lot of his speeches, named John Henry Clark, and he mentions that imagery is 80% of what our world is, and I think he was showing us how anything that we see, as your dad said, anything we see, we process it, and we basically we chew up the meat, spit out the bones, and then we deal with what we can. And ironically, I'm going to talk about that a little bit tomorrow, because I believe that's the source and the cause of most of the violence in the street today. The music is filled with filth. It's being thrown at our children.
Oh no, absolutely. I think so. And like I said, and people buy with their eyes.
Yeah. We learn with our eyes.
People learn with their eyes. People teach with their eyes. Our parents can literally talk to us without saying a word. If they look at us with that look. So, I mean, it's just, when I watched this movie, and going back to what the pastor was saying, it was one of those things where absolutely there were moments, and once again, and I'll probably contradict myself here, because the mind wants to tell you, oh, you didn't see what you thought you saw, but you saw it. When he mentioned that at one point it looked like an angel, it did. Even to me, at one point, it looked like a queen that was in her robe ruling with an iron fist, because the part of the robe was raised around the head, and then it was draped. And then there were points, there was like, well, it descended like an angel upon man. So it was one of those things where it also became beauty is in the eye of the beholder. We've created this beautiful creature with our eyes. Our mind has filtered this, and yet now something has blossomed from that we can't put back in the box. So it's definitely one of those movies where, yeah, if you're watching this movie just to say, oh man, Jordan Peele making a great movie, let's go watch Jordan Peele. If you're watching at full speed, once again, you're not going to stop and catch the subtleties. Shout out to H-Rap. I don't know if he caught the Buck and the Preacher poster that was in the background. And there's all kinds of just little small things that are in this movie we may not even touch tonight, but just the deepness and the depth of this movie, I mean, it can go so many different ways.
Let me give a couple of shout outs. The Greatest, thank you for tuning in. The Great, appreciate you. He says, crazy movie. What's up, fellas? He also said, spit out sharp objects. Yes. Raider Kev was saying, great point. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was afraid to say it out loud. Didn't want to sound crazy. That's probably to your point earlier, Wilkes. But I think when it came to Keith David, man, he only had 5 minutes in this film. 5 minutes.
He's such a good actor.
It was like the black person in a scary movie. They get the first 5 minutes, the credits. Once the credits is done, he dead underneath the building or something.
Like, yeah, he put his boots on and got shot. That was it. It was like,
he must have been on a budget, and he said, "I can only give you this amount."
Green Leaf is starting next week. Yeah,
and they probably couldn't afford it.
Probably
not.
He's a well-renowned actor. He's been in a lot.
Huge,
but that kind of started the curiosity. I wanted to touch on that because that was the initial point where we're like, okay, what is the stuff coming out of the sky? You didn't see. I don't think you've seen the spaceship at that point. You just seen, something coming out of the sky, and then he's end up taking him to the hospital, and then he's got like a coin in his eye.
Right.
And so what did that do for you guys? What did that spark? Did that spark a curiosity? Were you able to start drawing some parallels?
I could not find. I mean, I wanted to try to find, like, did they use nickels as ammunition back in the day? I mean, did they? I was trying to find everything I could, but I couldn't really get a correlation there. But once again, it's like, could it be an eye for an eye kind of thing? But I'm not sure. I just you don't want to overthink it, and make things fit. That was just me.
Well, he came in talking about the past, right? And he was looking back, and then next thing you know, he was done. I kind of looked at it like Lot, you know, look forward or you'll be destroyed type of thing.
Wow. There you go, A-Trap. All right. Yes.
Well, I just, I didn't really take anything out of that. I just, because he kind of referenced that that was just a coincidence. We don't believe in coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. And that particular episode happened for a reason. But initially, like I said, I had to watch it a second time to get the whole gist of it. That we just couldn't consume metal.
Right.
Well, after he digested, after the alien, digested the horse or whatever flesh, he had to spit out any type of metal. And I didn't look at it in a lot context, but that that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one. That he was looking back, but I just looked at he just happened to be in that path, and then his son was basically the one I think that had to be in charge.
Yeah. Because the sister wasn't. No.
Right. His sister wasn't going to do nothing. So in order for the movie to evolve the way it did, he had to be in charge. But yeah, I was disappointed, man. They only gave the brother, a couple minutes.
Yeah. He's such a good actor, man. But
he had a couple lines. I think it was OJ and no.
Yeah.
That was it.
We can't really get mad. That's the brother made the movie.
Right.
Hey, it be your own people, man. It be your own people.
Yeah, they reference him a lot.
They referenced the dad a lot in the movie.
They did. They did. That's a good point.
Very short-lived.
Now, I did look up, I don't know if anybody else did, Haywood Hollywood Horses. Now, that was fictional, in this article I read, but that doesn't mean it's not tied to something that actually happened. It's just that the way they built the story. But I felt like that was a really like a proud, I think, like Black moment to see that this was the first, Black like horse trainers for films. Now, when you fast forward when they were on the set, and I think OJ was just, I think he was lost at that point. I don't. Maybe he wasn't the talker. That's what I got.
Right.
He wasn't really the speaking person.
Right.
It was probably his dad or his sister, and his sister was just so like, I'm not really interested. She was just kind of off in her own world.
Just nowhere to be found when there was work to be done.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But she could talk, huh? That girl could.
She could talk.
Yeah.
She could talk. And I'll say this, and we talked about this on previous shows. Keke Palmer stayed in the pocket on this film. She was not over. She can be so over dramatic, but sometimes.
Yeah.
A prime example is Alice. She could be over dramatic sometimes, but I think she played her role well. It wasn't too high, it wasn't too low, and so I wanted to touch on that. But anybody want to touch on the I'm just gonna say Triple H, Haywood Hollywood Horses. Anybody else look that up?
I meant to look into it, but it's just another example of, again, when you're talking about our culture, it is always overlooked, and I'm quite sure if we delve into it, we will find that those people, just like the whole concept of being a cowboy in itself, that's us.
Yeah.
Right.
So when you look at it, what is it, bulldog and steer wrangling and things of that nature. That's all us. The term cowboy is a derogatory statement in regards to our community. So what you have to do, if you've invented all these things in the Wild West, and some of the greatest people from the West are women from our community. So what it is, it's kind of like, what's the name of the movie that we all love with Idris Elba and what's the name, Regina King?
Harder They Fall.
Harder They Fall.
Yeah, all of those people were not. Well, that is not how that thing was portrayed. But if you start looking into the film, what you'll find that each and every one of those dudes, like Bass Reeves is the Lone Ranger, and all those other people were actual people. They just didn't run in a gang as if it was presented. So I looked at it that way, like, hey, yeah, if we look into it, we'll find out that most of these things from the John Wayne movies and the black and white movies and the what is it? No what is silent films. Those were probably curated by people from our community, but they'll never get the credit.
Right. Well, you weren't just being cowboys, but owning horses.
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, not just one either. I mean,
stable.
Several. Yeah. So that was big. That was a big to do that he pointed out. But to go back to Jordan, he's like an old soul. Like, you know, some of these scenes and some of this music.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, it's like Fries. Like who knew about Fries?
Right.
Right. Yes, I was gonna bring that up.
Right.
Fries Electronics.
Jose. I mean, you know, I'm like, boy, you
pulled right there. Since they went out of business, it was like, man, a nod to Fries. You know?
Exactly. I'm like, so you gave him a little prop, but it's like this guy. I'm telling you, he's a comedian, but you know, he got some stuff going on in that head.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I think he purposely went away from the comedic route in his films. Right, because that's who he was, Key and Peele. That's what on Comedy Central.
Exactly. Well, that's how it starts. It's like it's like, man, you don't take me seriously. Probably nobody wants my script. Oh, you think this is over people's heads? Okay, well then I'll do the comedic role for a while, and crack jokes and do parodies and stuff like that. But then when I finally get my big break, and somebody wants my first script, or they want my directorial review debut, then now it's off and running. You know, it's like I'm not going to look back now.
Right. And I basically looked at the whole concept or where the idea came from, and it actually came from a artist who. One of his friends gave him an actual tape of an artist's song, and I was trying to relocate where I found it, but his name was Mackie.
Oh, Michael, that did the soundtrack. Michael
Abel. Oh, Michael Abel or something like that.
No, not the soundtrack, but the inspiration of the actual movie.
Oh, okay.
The inspiration of a movie was one of his friends. I'll try to find it again. One of his friends gave him this burner CD. Of this brother named Mackie, and he does like a combination of New Orleans jazz, and he also does some Bohemian music, and the music is deep. So when he listened to this particular music, it was called I can't think of the name of it. I'll find it. But anyway, when he heard the song, he got the idea of the movie, because the actual song is talking about an alien that came down through a light, and in order to provide for the people that was in the land. So that's the whole thing when it comes down to the alien process of not actually being a ship, but actual alien. And but that was deep, when I read that.
Yeah. And you never know where musicians and artists and filmmakers get that one piece of inspiration from and how they run with it. And I wonder too, because these films have been like 2 years apart, Get Out and then Us and then this. I wonder was he kind of working on these all at one time possibly, and just taking pieces from different things. And one thing he said in the interview is that Daniel Coulier is like his Denzel Washington. So kind of to Spike Lee, I think is or some degree of what he was saying. So he used him in he was in Get Out. I don't think he was in Us. But
wasn't in Us.
Yeah, but he's in Nope. So I mean, I love the connection, because that's how you continue to build that trust and that consistency with each other.
Okay, I found it. So it was inspired by an artist called Tony Mackie. And Tony Mackie had a song called Exuma, EXUMA.
Oh yes, that song was played in the movie.
Huh?
I think that song was played in the movie.
Played in the movie,
exactly.
Right.
Was that when she was playing the music?
Yes.
Okay.
It was played at the turntable when she.
Right, with her little glass and then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when she was dancing.
Yeah, that was
she did.
Yeah, it was right after the Lost Generation band. I think it was a little bit after that song, and that's right. Yeah.
Right.
When the horse escaped. That's when the horse initially escaped.
Right. So I thought
I looked up that album, and the character on the album or the painting, it has eczema painted across the forehead.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the pictures right now. It's I could definitely see how you can connect that. But yeah, I mean it's so many layers to this, and you're tuned into the Fourcast with special guests Ben and Irene, Sudderth, host of Sudds-R-Us Podcast. We are live right now on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. We're live on multiple platforms and Roku TV. So if you haven't already, make sure to add that on your TV or device, or go to bs3tvlive.com. You'll be able to have access to everything. If for some reason you don't have Roku, we got you covered on all bases. All right, so Stephen Yun, that's a Walking Dead character. So that's me and Wilkes go connect on that one. But he had a short. I thought his role was a little bit longer, just based on the cover art and the way he was included. But he didn't really have that long of a time in the film either. But
not really.
I think it was somewhat important though, because that tied into the Gordo or the Gordies, the
Gordy.
That whole thing.
The Alf character.
Right. Yeah. And that was at the beginning. That kind of threw me off. I didn't. Right. I figured they were going to come back to it and connect it. But A-Trap, go ahead. You want
that cat. It was more like how one of those comic book movies. It was like he was part of the origin story.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So when you introduce him, he walks you into he makes it so you're not lost. He walks you up to a point. So as the movie proceeds, you won't go, so what happened with him? And that's why I believe that's why his role was this long, because it was okay, this is why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then okay, now proceed.
So you're talking about Jute, right?
Jute. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys understood the whole context of that of that scene and how it played into the actual movie, because he was because at Jupiter Claims, he was using the alien as a prop,
right?
So he was buying Hayward horses to feed to the alien,
right?
Okay,
yeah,
okay. So I told you, man, I did my research there. I mean,
I know you did.
I got deep. So his so his relationship with Gordy, right? You remember Gordy was gonna give him a fist bump,
right?
Yeah.
And they blew Gordy away. They blew him away. So he was under the impression that he had the ability to tame or to come make a friendship with certain animals or certain species. So he felt that since Gordy didn't kill him, that was his friend. So he was using the alien, thinking that mentally, because you remember in the movie, he was sitting there like in a daze, and he was thinking about Gordy.
Yeah, he's having those
flashbacks. Going back to the office, right?
So you all right? And he started going over his sketch or
his lines,
right? Because he's done that before. So that was his deal. He felt that he had a relationship with this alien. He was manipulating the alien to come in, and he was using the horses as bait.
Right.
And then the audience was actually mesmerized by this particular alien, and he thought he had a relationship with him.
But it flipped on him.
But it flipped on him because remember, OG said you can't look him in the eye.
Right.
So he looked him in the eye, and then the alien turned on him. And but the interesting thing about that was, he said it was his best friend and inspiration, which was a lady in the movie with the hat on. Remember, lady with the hat?
Yeah.
The face.
Mary,
we got her face.
That was his
the monkey
on the sitcom.
Right.
That Gordy beat
up. I thought it was the mom, but I guess that makes sense. Why would the mom still be alive if he was young? So it was the sister that was.
It was the sister. Right.
So the mom was the one that was on the floor, and he started patting the
Oh,
shoe.
see, I thought the sister was on the floor because she had the striped shirt. You could see some of the stripe on the shirt, and I thought that was the sister that he was.
That was the sister.
So the sister's the one that brought the gift in.
Yes.
Right.
And of course, I think when that balloon popped, that chimpanzee went off.
Yeah.
Bananas.
Yeah, he was like, I'm done.
That was
Yeah,
it.
y'all not gonna use me on this show no more.
Okay. Yeah.
I said I had enough.
Somebody did to that chimp, but
Yeah, so this ain't happening.
here's him off.
Ain't happening.
Yeah, but the whole thing was that, you know, and I know H-Rap will love this, is that sometimes we try to use, you know, animals as props, but they're not human.
Right.
And we can only tame them or only control them to a certain extent.
Yes.
Right. And that was the whole thing about Gordy, because you remember he said one of the chips that we use as Gordy. So they use a number
Yeah, I
of
was using multiple.
Right.
multiple chimps, and this one went off. He wasn't having it. You know?
Yeah. No, we ain't doing this today.
And to your point, clearly, this just I just put this in. I think those chimps were getting killed after a certain point, and Gordy was like,
Probably
"Not
so.
me,
Not me.
not me."
Wow.
You're not
Because think
gonna
about
catch
it, he was
me on.
beating on that lady for a long period of time, and he kept going back to beat her more.
Right.
And then
So
at
that
the
was
end, he hit her foot like a couple of times, like, yeah,
Like, we cool? We
wanted
okay,
to make
right?
sure.
he's dead. I can't get over this shoe. Tell me why this shoe is standing up. This boy is too much for me. He
Now
got
that one I never looked into. I did not.
I
look
didn't.
into
I didn't.
that.
It's
I don't
almost
know
like
what-
it was in space. I mean, it was sitting upright. I didn't get that point, but I think there was something. He had the shoe in his,
Right.
you know, that side room that he had.
Yeah, it was in the glass.
The shoe was standing up there. So I
Right.
don't know. I think there was some type of connection between that.
yes.
But he had it in his, you know, in his
Yeah, I'd have to go back and see if
I'm
there's any
like, I'm
information.
done. I'm not gonna trip on that no more because I can't figure it out. Let me get
Now-
the movie.
Now talk about the Alf
The what?
connection. Wilkes.
Oh,
Oh.
I'll call it because Gordy reminds me of Alf, but the
Okay.
sitcom. But yeah, so I cannot think of the lady's name, but this is also so I'm big on what they call Easter eggs in movies, which is usually small little things that are planted throughout the movie. So the connection here is because I don't know if anybody remembers the story. I don't know. It's been about 6 years, maybe longer. The woman that had the pet monkey that ate her face off.
Yeah,
Mm.
I remember that.
And I believe Good Morning America or Oprah or somebody actually interviewed this woman. And she
GMA.
was disfigured and she was scarred. So from reading and doing a little research, that was kind of not a nod, I guess, or kind of a point to like, hey, you know, you took this wild animal under your wing and thought you could, you know, train it and cuddle it and you know, and make it your own like it's a child and put it in a diaper, but it still has animal instincts. It still has survival tendencies.
Right.
Maybe and like the first lady said, when that balloon popped, it was like, oh, that triggered. So you have a wild animal in your home. If you do one wrong movement,
Right.
that's it. You know, it's like it's gonna go back to its tactics. It's gonna go back to its survival plan. So yeah, it was definitely a reference to that. Now I have to say also too, when and I might be jumping in here a little bit, when they were going for the fist bump, and of course we all know the monkey represented. Though they tried to label black people as monkeys, they shot the monkey.
Right. Right.
That could be a reference to shooting a black person.
Yes. Wow.
You
But
got
you do hear the police in the background.
What's that?
You do after he gets shot. You do hear the police in the background.
You hear the police.
Nothing else happens. You just
Yeah,
hear
you hear the police in the background. And nothing else happens.
True.
Right. That's
Wow,
true.
that's true.
When I saw that, I felt like, oh, you. Matter of fact, the ape or the chimpanzee at that point, your back is turned to the authority.
Right.
You shoot me in my head,
Right.
I'm away from you. Where's the threat?
Where's the threat? There you go.
Oh.
Wow.
Right.
That's what I took from that. That's what I
Yeah,
said.
if it was a white chimpanzee, you wouldn't got walked away. You would have taken to McDonald's.
Yeah, they would have fed him some.
On the way to the jail.
Yeah, they would have had him a
On
salted
the way to the
bag of
animal
peanuts
jail.
and everything.
They gave some peanuts. Yeah.
Y'all turning me, man. Yeah, y'all turning me. I was gonna trash this movie.
See, that's the thing about Jordan Peele. Like I said, if you watch it full speed, you'll miss it. You've gotta honestly, you've gotta watch it just like everybody else to the point of like, man, that's exactly what that's tied to. No, that's exactly what he meant right there. Like it's one of those movies where you have to watch like that because to truth be told, in our hearts of heart, we felt these images while we were watching this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I kid you not. When I saw that scene of them shooting that chimpanzee, I immediately thought, maybe he can try to bond with him, but unfortunately, they cut his life short right there.
Right.
And it's like, okay, where's the threat though? I'm not charging you. I'm not, being aggressive. You didn't tell me to, stop right there, or you didn't try to wrangle me or hit me with a trank gun. You just shot me. All you saw is that, there's carnage, just like with the black horse. The black horse could have referenced, he's an angry black man.
Yeah.
Out of control.
He was out of control.
It's one of those things where this movie, it's just too many connections.
That made me think of the guy in Oklahoma that was walking backwards to his car.
Yeah.
And they still shot him.
Right.
Have a gun or anything.
Right.
Now I think the Gordy, I think he was probably being abused probably by all these adults, and he noticed the kid had nothing to do with this. The kid was just here. I think that's when he was like, that's my man's. Let me go ahead and give him the fist bump like he's been doing.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I think, but he connected everybody else to being probably abusive or not treating me.
Which definitely
really
gives credence to Will's point. If it is a African American reference, I'm gonna attack everybody who's been oppressing me.
Right.
But if you don't pose a threat, you're safe.
Exactly. That's what he felt. He felt safer. Yeah, you're right. Shout out to DJ Knox. Thank you for tuning in. Front Ground Records. All right, so
let me mention this since you asked about the shoe. So the screenrant.com really says that the shoe represents a form of protection. When the animal went off, it actually calmed down when it saw Ricky, the boy.
Right.
Then he made eye contact, which led to the ape, not attacking him. He wanted to give him a fist, like you said, Wilson. I don't feel threatened, so you're basically a friend of mine. And regarding, the miracle of the shoe standing up, they said it represents a form of protection. Even, when he had his little museum and his little back room, he had that shoe that was in a case. So he actually feel protected, even though the whole set was soiled with blood and with all type of carnage. If you notice the shoe, it was standing. I don't think pristine.
Right.
No blood on it. Yeah.
Man, y'all turned me, man. I ain't gonna lie. I came in tonight ready to trash this movie.
That's what we do. Now at the end,
and trust me, don't get me wrong. I watched it as, man, that's another Jordan Peele movie. But then, like I said, I love Twilight Zone. I love the Twilight Zone from the 60s, black and white. I'm the kind of person where I can't imagine what was going through people's minds when they watched the Twilight Zone at whatever time it came on at night. So when Jordan Peele directed the remake or a new season of Twilight Zone, he's gonna put his foot in it. I mean, he's gonna do those things where it makes you think again. And I felt like, and I almost made the mistake. Like I said, I was gonna watch this movie because, oh man, he made Get Out, he made Us. I mean, but then I was like, I had to stop, and I had to put myself back into, okay, this is gonna be deep. There's gonna be things that I miss. because I have to say, even I made the mistake of not really paying attention in the beginning because it was just like, okay, whatever. But then I had to reel it back in, and I had to put the blinders on, and I had to watch it and get these small references, and I had to let my mind, once again, that spaceship to me was like an eye taking in information and filtering things. So I had to watch it and take things out and put things in and like, okay, this is what I feel. Like, I honestly feel this is connected to this when I watched this. I couldn't deny it. It was just like, man, why is that sticking with me? Like, why is that making me reference that? Why is that making me think about a certain situation? It was one of those movies.
Man, I gotta watch this again.
You gotta watch it again.
Twilight Zone reference, and then Jordan Peele. And I've been watching that Twilight Zone thing, right? And then he put it out that Rod Serling created Twilight Zone to highlight the suffrage of Black people. In the 40s and the 50s.
Absolutely. Wow. Rod Serling was before his time. I mean, he was,
Wow.
Yeah, watch this
and I think too, when it comes to Jordan Peele, and I think the greatness of a filmmaker is that when it has you thinking about things that weren't necessarily in the film, but to Wilkes's point, is in kind of your subconscious. That's the genius point, because you can just make a film and it just be entertaining, something with Kevin Hart or something with, Ride Along or something like that. There's no deeper meaning to that. You're not going to read into that. But Jordan Peele, I think the genius of him is that when you watch something, it's going to make you think, and you're going to be coming with all different things. And now, as we're talking about this, when they were putting the names of the horses, that was making me just now thinking, say their names. He was putting the horses like Ghost, and he put the
I'm telling you,
they put it right there on the screen.
Absolutely.
But I like movies like that gets into your intellect. I don't mind entertainment, but make me think a little bit.
Right.
Give me a challenge. For people that's old like me, let me watch it. 2 or 3 times.
I mean, even the scene with the guy on the motorcycle, I felt like that was. To me, I felt like there was a man on a pale horse, even in the beginning when Ghost was there. But even when the motorcycle showed up, it was kind of like the man with no name. You're on this white horse, which happens to be an electric white BMW motorcycle. I mean, it could be it could be a plague when the spacecraft or the eye was over the house. It reminded me of the plagues of Egypt. When God said I would turn the rivers into blood. It was one of those things where it was just it was too many connections.
Well, let me tell you about you want to mention the chapters? Oh
yeah, I can. So like I think Trey had mentioned it, but one was Ghost. Of course, we know that was the horse. Clover. That was a horse?
Clover?
I guess
Clover was one of them.
Clover was one of the chapters in the movie. Gordy, Lucky, and Jean Jacket.
Right.
I don't know. I don't remember Clover, but anyway,
it was
just lost a thought.
Clover was a horse because all those names were horses' names.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gordy was the
champ, right?
Yeah, Gordy was the champ, but Clover was a horse. Lucky and Jean Jacket,
right?
Those were horses as well.
Lucky was a horse. Well, let me get back to the man on the motorcycle. I thought, to me, that was the most comical part, because he said he was from TMZ, right?
Yeah.
Right. TMZ always out of nowhere with a camera.
Yeah.
Like, no, make sure you take the picture. It was like you about to die, man.
National Enquirer, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's my camera.
Disguised as a reporter, so you can't see his face. Like you said, you can't see his face.
Yeah.
But he has the camera rolling. He's no questionable. He's there to catch the spaceship, so he knew where he was coming from, what he was coming for. And that's why these TMZ, they always say that well, somebody was there, happened to have a iPhone. They caught the episode. No. They got reporters disguised as just regular people.
As regular people.
In certain situations, in certain areas where they're hoping something's going to happen and they can get it on film.
Right. exactly. That's you're right. That's the real truth. It's not. They don't just have random people
Right.
that sending them clips. I mean, they got people everywhere. Shout out to Theodore Harper. He says he shows you the up and coming, the now that no one wants to talk about. Yeah, he does, and he gets you talking. That's
the ironic part about Jordan Peele is before he started making these movies, he was known as a sellout.
Oh yeah, no, I believe that. Yeah, I believe that. Absolutely.
You know, they used to kill him and his partner. They used to call him sellouts.
Yeah.
And now he's making some of the most monumental statements about Black America in cinema today. Right. And they can't stop him because it's wildly successful.
Right.
I looked at Monkey Paul's production, his production company.
Yeah.
And I mean, this brother's man, he's on fire by now.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely.
A lot of these movies that he started out with, because we know he did Get Out and Us, and he did the Black Klansman. Jesus,
he did that too?
Yeah.
No, that's Spike Lee.
Spike Lee directed it.
But I think he produced it, didn't he?
Oh, he produced it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he produced it.
Wow.
Monkeypox. I mean, he didn't produce it in Monkeypox, but he produced that particular movie. But he did. I don't know if you guys are going to look at this, A Honk for Jesus. Now that's the one we couldn't get it. That's the one you looking like, nah.
That was shot at the House of Hope too.
But keep it moving.
But a lot of these movies, though, his budget was around 5 million up to 7-8 million, and he grossed a lot of these movies.
Right.
What was it? 220 million. Was it them or
I thought
us?
It was 20.
Us. Yeah. Us.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think with his films, they're 3 different films, but they do kind of tie into each other. But I think if you watch Us and then you watch this, there's no immediate connection. But there is a connection to us as Black people because we see it. Yeah, don't bother with Honk for Jesus says.
Thank you.
Yeah. No. We probably won't do that one.
Shout out to Film Sisters because they wrote that and
they were Deidre's classmates.
They were Deidre's
like that. Was it Jesus the Rock Star? We don't want to watch that, man.
Yeah,
let it go.
So, but I was thinking going back to the house when the alien, put all that blood on the house, and just really splattered it. Like, that was like they were protected. Where guys said you put that blood in the doorpost.
I didn't think about that. I forgot about that. I
thought about that, and it's like when I know they're the starring cast and nothing happened to them, but I kind of put that. Thank you.
That's back to the lock thing too.
What's that?
Because here's the one thing. Why didn't it just consume the house? Why did it?
I think it couldn't sense.
Covenant with.
I don't think it could sense the people if they were inside because OJ kept running into that barn and it was like it couldn't sense maybe the people. Now the part that got me is you don't look it in the eye, but that wasn't really OJ didn't really say that to everybody. So I don't know if they just somehow put a connection to it, and then the guy on the motorcycle, his face was covered.
Right.
So how did it know he was he was looking through his, or did it? That's the part where I got kind of mixed up.
Right.
I don't know if y'all felt that at all.
Not I'm not gonna lie.
She was trying to save him. He was just a fool. She was doing all that fast talking like that. But I'm like, boy, what you doing? You don't want. Come on. He's like, what?
I need you to turn around.
Yeah. See, yeah, she tried to warn him. But anyway,
he wasn't listening. He wasn't listening at all.
But that we were just watching again the where she said the man was gonna come with that non-electric camera. Pop, 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 pop.
That's the most emotion that OJ showed the whole film. He was so laid back, but that one moment he was like, "Yeah, I'm hyped now."
Right.
Yeah,
Now-
he had to get the action though.
Yeah. But you know he was hyped because, like he said, he was broke. They were losing money at that point. So this was going to be this is going to be the money maker. They got the kill shot. They call it the Oprah shot. They get the Oprah.
Right, get the Oprah.
I gotta go to Oprah.
I was waiting on them to go to Oprah at the end. I was waiting on that, man.
Oh man, we're gonna definitely get out of debt. It's gonna save the ranch, boy.
Oprah would have been too expensive too. You wouldn't have been able.
Maybe not, because you end up doing something like this because you're Oprah.
No,
Right.
but I thought they were gonna go on the Oprah show at the end, and they were gonna show the
But
now the filmmaker, the guy, what was that guy's name?
Antlers.
Yeah, he was very interesting. I couldn't connect him, but I think when he wanted to shoot, it almost seemed like he wanted to die, but also he wanted to get that shot for them.
Right.
But I don't know if they ever got back to the film, but it looked like the film was rolling down the hill.
Right.
So I think he was like, I'm gonna get this shot for you guys, and, and I'm ready to go. That's because he was taking pills or drinking.
That's what I said. Daddy said, "Oh, you taking his medicine?" Now he was weird. Y'all know he said this, and I don't know how old y'all are, but he was like one eye, one arm, flying purple people.
Oh yeah, the purple people.
That song? I was like, this fool is.
Yeah.
He was on the set too.
They had that on record too. They had a vinyl. They had the song playing.
That's during our day. I don't
The movie was terrible, by the way.
But I agree. I agree, Trey. He wanted that shot. I thought he wanted to actually have the alien consume him so we can actually film.
Oh, going
inside.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But I don't think
the alien would have spit it out. Yeah.
Would have spit it out.
And he
Right.
did.
He did.
Come out.
He got some of what was inside, but he didn't get fully. But the comment he made, he said, "You're not worthy to see greatness," or something to affect.
Something about we don't deserve the impossible or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But that could be the works of God. That could be the heal, like anything. It could be a supernatural. I mean, it could be one of those things where it's like we don't deserve His grace and mercy, but yet here it is. Kind of one of those things. This movie can go everywhere.
So many different ways.
Risk his life, even though at first he, kind of, he blew it off.
He didn't want to do it.
But
now, wasn't that the guy? Wasn't he on the set? Originally.
He was the original set. Yeah.
And I felt bad for the, for the little fries guy. I mean, he was spared. He got wrapped up in that tarp, and then I think
that saved him.
I was about to say that saved his life.
That saved him. Yeah, he got spared in that sense, but then he wrapped himself with the
barbed wire.
So when he went up, when that thing flipped and I saw all them holes, I said, "Oh, that barbed wire just ripped it up." But y'all come with a different perspective. But I'm like,
I don't know. And then of course,
the barbed wire.
And then in my mind, I thought about the crown, the thorn of Jesus. I'm like,
there you go.
Well, I thought
it was just too much going on.
For protection, because he knew that he couldn't consume metal.
Right.
So
true.
But the thing about
saved his life, but it killed.
Right. But like I say, Peele always put some type of humor in it. I thought it was funny when he first got to the ranch, and he said, "You don't see a picture of my girl? She dumped me, man."
Yes.
I thought she was the one.
It was really entertaining him, but one thing about OJ is his eyes. And then when the sister said something, he was like, "Nope."
The moments that they said nope, that part was hilarious.
Those were that was. And honestly,
when he was walking up the stairs, he looked back and said, "Nope."
When he seen those little kids running around, he was like, "Nope, I'm turning around."
Nope. And that's what I loved about the intro when it came in. After they showed Universal Studios, and then the mom was saying, "Oh, you would think he would know how to get a great birthday present,"
right?
And she said, "Nope." I felt like that was kind of like an intro to a sitcom or a TV show, and it was like the show was called Happy Days, and it's like, nope, the show's called Nope, so it's just like nope, and it's like they would plaster it like on the screen.
That was the tag. That was the tagline.
Yeah.
That was the punchline.
Also, one other song, the actual song called Nope. I mean, you hear all that Western whistling in it.
Yes.
Like, this guy is like, that's way back.
That's an actual
It
song.
was, I mean,
What's the name of that?
even the music, even the music in here, it reminded me of Fistful of Dollars, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
Smoke.
The music that's in Buck and the Preacher. It just had that. It just had that old classic Western that music.
Well, we talked about Tarantino. He has craziness too.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you say that because I think I've told this to Ben, but Quentin Tarantino says he has the soundtrack before he has the actual movie.
Look, I believe.
I can believe it, and it was one of those things where it's like if I can use music to paint a picture in my mind,
right,
then how can I transpose that or transfer that to literature or images?
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Chuck, you want to
Peele, I was gonna say Peele had, he got his production company, Monkey Paw, has a 5-year distributing deal with Universal Pictures.
Oh
man.
So
that's significant right there.
And he signed that in 2019. So everything up to 2024
will
be distributed by Universal.
Wow. And I just want to point this out. This Monkey Paw reference. It takes me back to the Twilight Zone. Once again, Twilight Zone head going on. There was an episode where somebody purchased a monkey paw in the store, and the monkey paw granted wishes. When you made a wish, one of the fingers were taken away from the monkey paw, which, fast forward, Jordan Peele directed Twilight Zone. I think it came out in 2019 or during maybe 18 or 19 when he did it. But there's a scene where he brought the monkey paw back. So it's one of those things where he's putting little things out there in the space, and who's going to grab it, who's going to latch onto it and notice it. But I love little things like that. I love the thought provoking.
And real quick to Monkey Paw, here's some of the films that have been featured films. Keanu, which I don't know if y'all remember that one. That was one with the cat.
Yeah.
That was comedy.
Right.
Then he did Get Out in 2017, Black Klansman, Us, Candyman as well. Nope. He did The Honk for Jesus, and then Wendell and Wild, and then he's coming out with The People Under the Stairs, which that's Universal.
Yeah.
So he's got.
Is that a throwback? Is that a nod to an old school? That's a remake, isn't it?
I think that's a remake.
People Under the Stairs.
People Under. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think
People Under the Stairs a remake.
So that's gonna be scary. Is that what?
That's probably gonna be
scary back in the 80s.
But the dramatic said, "Let me into your heart anywhere, down the stairs, in the hall."
Now, when OJ was walking around the barn and he heard the horses, and eventually we learned it was some kids messing with him. But did y'all think that was the aliens at all? Did y'all think that was just?
I didn't think those were real aliens. They look too classic alien.
I think that was a nod to like Area 51,
right?
Classic alien B movies, the Halloween costume kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that had some other significant meaning. But can we really just go back to what we may have missed this in the entire movie? Can we go back to OJ and the horse, the Bronco?
Yes.
You're surrounded by horses, and it's like, come on, man, OJ and the horse, man, come on, let's just be honest.
I thought that at the very beginning when the white woman said, "What's your name?" and he's like, "OJ."
OJ.
Yeah.
And she was like, OJ.
Yeah.
OJ, huh?
Connected. OJ Simpson. Okay.
Yeah. She connected that right out the gate. I thought that was interesting. Yeah, that his name was OJ. And he picked that specifically. But that was
once again.
Actually, when that kid was hanging upside down, I was like, okay, that's the alien. Man. That's what I was thinking, because I was expecting eventually to see some type of alien, but to
I knew it wasn't
point
that was too National Enquirer alien.
Yeah.
Grocery store alien.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. I was like, that's just
the sun. Yeah.
So the people that got sucked up, you started hearing them screaming. You
Right.
started hearing that screeching noise. I thought that was the spaceship moving, but I think that was the people inside that was just, I guess, being crushed. We never seen what happened to them.
And you can see them.
Digesting. That's it.
Yeah. That's what. I have to say, there was another comical part with the guy on the motorcycle, because when he flipped off that motorcycle, he gave a scream.
He broke something.
He did. At first, it was like he did. He dead for sure.
Up. The way he screamed, I was just like, what?
Right.
He's like, help me. Where's my camera at? He's like, dude, bye.
He was like,
I can't move. Give me the camera, man.
No. He's not worried about the camera.
He was worried about the camera. I'm like, man, you messed up, man.
I told I hate this movie before the night.
No, it's a thought-provoking movie. It's one of those movies where it just, like I said, if you're watching it at at full speed, it's like you're gonna miss the small subtleties in the connections. I mean, now you can go one step further and why is he wearing a hoodie called the Scorpion King? Well, that was a nod to Jordan Peele, because I think it was his first movie he worked on, or something like that he mentioned. But
the one with the Rock,
the one with the Rock. I think he worked on the production team or something like that, or when he got started. But I mean, it's just smaller things.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have time to to actually research this, but I believe every shirt they had on, because he always had a T-shirt on.
Oh.
That had some type of writing or some type of reference on it.
Yes.
One of them referenced Kobe, I think, and
one reference Jordan, which it could be
Jordan. Right? Jordan.
Yeah, so no, you're absolutely right. You're right.
Right.
And who knows what her T-shirts were about? Jesus Wizard.
Yeah.
So I
That's actually a punk band from Australia.
Okay. Help me.
That's why I said, once again, those small little subtleties.
Right.
There's a connection.
So that was a plug. That was $1 for him then.
Oh, absolutely.
Look, this boy is smart.
Yeah.
Do you hear me?
He had Apple laptops in there.
You're advertising an electric motorcycle.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in a day and age where electric vehicles are on the rise.
Right. Right.
BMW, they're gonna be all over that.
All over that, of course.
Yeah, they're gonna be all over that.
Man, Chevy.
If they were really creatures or not, the reason they came, because she stole the horse.
Yes.
She stole a horse from Jupiter Claims.
Right. Nope, she did.
And that was, he sent this. I don't know, they referenced his kids. I don't know if they were his biological children, but at that particular episode where he was doing his presentation, he said, "Well, my children come take a bow," and so he sent them there just to mess with them, because he knew that he stole their horse.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah. And so all the horses they had, they end up running away, or they end up going to Jupiter Claim, because they only had that one horse left, right?
There was still some horses, I think, in the stable, maybe one or two, because he said,
"Okay, you're right."
Go buy
and he sold some too.
Sold some,
yeah.
Because he was gonna try to go buy them back.
Yeah,
right. What did he take? 10 of them? He sold 10 of the horses.
10 of the horses. So that's how many times he was entertaining by feeding the alien.
Yeah,
because he was using those horses.
Because when he did that last kind of stunt, he been doing this. It wasn't. They made it. It portrayed it like it was the first time, but he really been doing this.
Yeah, he had been doing that for a while.
He had been doing it because he gotten used to it, and then he was so surprised when it came and sucked everybody up, and then it was
right.
So it never really sucked. It never really showed up like that. That was the ultimate, I guess.
Right. Right. Well, I think because OJ had pissed it off, just like you pissed off a wild horse.
Oh man!
Right? Or just like the chimp went off.
Right.
He went off because he knew that he had met someone that was, and that's why he referenced the. I don't know if you're going to mention this, but that's why he referenced the jean jacket. He called the alien jean jacket because he basically tamed the horse that his sister wanted to tame, and that horse was Jean Jacket.
Right.
And so that was a reference that he's getting ready to tame and take out this alien. Right.
Yeah, that's a good point because that's the horse she wanted.
That's
Right.
You got him. Right.
Right. And when they was kids, he did like this. I got you.
Right.
Well, he rolled off. He said, "I got you."
And then, of course, when I seen that, but for my mind, it was a reference to the ship because it's in the shape of an eye for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like everything is through the eye, like everything is everything.
For me, initially it looked like a hat or a bedpan turned upside down.
No, Ben, I tell you, it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it
had that one hole. I'm like, what is this?
But did you guys get some sibling rivalry there? Maybe that's why she did not care. She didn't want to work.
She didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, and so I think that just tore her apart. That the daddy did not. Because he goes, where your sister at? I thought she would have been here by now. I mean, and then she come rolling in, when he's trying to get his words together for this presentation, she got this, this.
Now, as she's
going on with her, what
as the first
today? But anyway,
as the first lady is saying this, is she the prodigal son? But the female, I mean,
mad. She was mad.
Well, the thing about it is, they had a nice house. This house was huge.
Yeah.
But she slept in a trailer. She didn't sleep in the house. Remember, she was in the trailer. And she fell asleep.
Yes.
Right. So she had her own spot.
Yeah, I was gonna say she would never go in either.
Right.
I did not pick up on that. Yeah, there were some issues between them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I thought she didn't live there at all, and she just came back to help.
That's what I felt like. Like she just popped up on the scene.
Yeah.
She wasn't even in the house to play her music and get her a drink.
Get her a drink.
Now, is this a little far fetched? Maybe my mind was going somewhere else. But the those, what do they call those things? Those wavy men or whatever?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Were they in the same color pattern as the banner that was hanging out of the?
I didn't even notice that, but I think they were.
I felt like they were in the same color pattern.
Right.
As that banner that was, I don't know what they call that thing. A kite tail, I guess.
Right.
It was. I think there was something. It was hanging out of the.
I didn't notice that.
That flag was shown in so many different scenes. The triangular.
Right. Yes. And I felt like it was in the same color pattern as those little.
I gotta watch this again, man.
You see what who was that? Raider Cab put up here.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, he said, to your point, Wilkes, this is how this can be viewed in so many ways. When I watched it with my grandkids, we all thought it was trash. When I watched it by myself, I thought it was brilliant. Yeah. I mean, your grandkids are probably going to be like,
it's almost like you literally have to put the mental brakes on,
right,
and watch it slowly.
And that's the thing,
catch little pockets of information,
right?
Because, like I said, Jordan Peele, it's like a moth to a flame. You gonna watch it. It's Jordan Peele. Like, oh man! And then when you get through with it, you're like, man, I didn't get that. What was that? Maybe I need to watch it again. And then, it's like, and then when you slow down, it's like, wait a minute. This comes together, like it starts falling into place if you just allow yourself to watch it and not think, oh, Jordan Peele's behind this, I gotta watch it. Well, that doesn't always make it great. You're gonna have to see why he's so deep.
I rushed to watch it too.
Yeah. Trust me, I'm the same way. When I watch, I have to slow down.
You gotta take your time with this one, yeah.
I love movies, and I have to slow down sometimes, and I have to watch it in a sense of, man, I know better. As much as I love movies, as much as I watched movies with my mom growing up, like that was our sentimental time. That was our bond. Mm-hmm. Yes, she loved watching Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire and those actors, and Sidney Poitier and with Imitation of Life and movies like that. It was one of those things where I had to slow down. Mm-hmm. And when I watch these movies, there's mythology references. Mm-hmm. There's biblical references.
Yeah.
There's science and mathematic references. If you want to be honest, there's irrigation, farming. I mean, everything. I mean, even to A-Trap, he said it all the time. Even when I watch this, I try to watch it the way A-Trap would watch it when he talked about the black cowboy, about the significance of, hey, we can go any further. Martin Luther King, you tell us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, but you haven't gave us representation. You haven't given us any land.
You don't have any boots.
We don't even have any boots to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. What are you talking about? So this movie can go so many different ways. It's just too many avenues that it can take.
Well, check this out. This was something that along those same lines, Wilson, is that, you know, when they were introducing the whole scene about the first black jockey and you was the first man riding on the horse, overlooked in Hollywood. Well, OJ referenced that. He referenced the racial discriminatory period when he said they couldn't take away this moment of getting the first true picture of the alien. So they took away all of those moments initially from American actors and producers, but this moment, we're gonna capture this.
Right,
we're gonna capture this. Take this away.
Just in that, just what you saying that just sparked another thought. Catch what the guy said on the motorcycle when he was on the ground. Catch what he said to OJ. He said, "What are you doing? Why don't you have your phone out? Why are you not recording this?"
Right.
We live in a world where we automatically pull this thing out.
Right.
Instead of watching somebody get beat or drugged or shot,
instead of helping them,
acting up or destroying the grocery store, flipping shelves over, we record.
Recording it, right? But then you think about all of the ways that they were capitalizing on
and then,
all of them were. And that brings me to this question.
To do it, even this man with the filming. I mean,
another point, like she just mentioned, you're capitalizing on this moment. Look how many times we've said, "Man, look at the police. We caught them on video." How many times we haven't caught them on video for crimes they've gotten away with?
Right.
I mean, cameras are. This whole movie had cameras everywhere.
Well,
literally surveillance.
The chimpanzee, all that he did before that point, before he got blown away. That's the example of that.
Exactly.
Still 15 people, but
right.
You go, at the end, you go.
Right. Oh no! Once again, another point. Dylan, here we go. Dylan Ruth. You go into a church, you slaughtered everybody, but they taking you to Burger King in a vest.
Right.
Well, we got a chimpanzee. Yeah, we got a chimpanzee in here. Oh, wait a minute. He's out of control. He's black. We got to put him down.
Yeah.
It's just too many.
And then when you look at the guy at Fry,
right,
salesperson,
there he goes. You don't need any help.
You don't need any help.
What y'all getting ready to do? Why y'all need all these cameras?
But the connotation initially, when they're in the store, he said, we talk about Wilson, something just popped up again. He said, y'all can't do it. They said this has to be installed. He put them as two young black people saying, "Oh, y'all can't
do it.
Y'all like to read instructions."
Yeah, right. But then when he installed it, it was like he didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
And then he was
put it up so he could watch it.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Is that
capitalizing? So I can say I did it.
Right.
Right.
You taking the credit for my culture.
Right.
Always and forever. But guess what? We still rise. We still are.
Absolutely.
And we still support people like that too.
Absolutely.
Like A-Trap talks about this all the time. We are not malicious people. People think, we're gonna get payback. We still helping y'all.
Look, if anybody should have hatred, y'all can say it. It should be us.
Yeah, absolutely.
If y'all leave us alone, we're fine. We fine. We are innovators. We all of them.
We don't have time. We don't have time to dwell on those things that are not profitable. It's one of those things where that's just going to keep me from moving forward. Once again, back to Dylan Ruth. They welcomed him into that church with no problem.
No problem.
But you turned around and you took that and you slaughtered it. And you slandered us and you tried to make something a point. But it was like, even then the community was pulling together. It was like, we have to it's one of those things where you just keep trying to tear away at that fabric, but that thread is so thick and it's a coat of many colors that you can't keep pulling away from that thread. You be pulling all decade. You be pulling all century.
There you have it.
Because we're the majority. That's the problem.
Right.
That's
Say
the
it again.
We're not the minority.
Deal with it.
All day. That's it.
The global majority.
They just now figuring it out. We've known it for a long time.
Yeah.
We spread out across the nations. Everywhere.
That's just the evidence that we're God's children. I mean, you have, when you look at the children of Israel, and we won't have to get into this about the original Jews being black, but that's just evidence that we're truly God's children, is because Satan is constantly trying to destroy us.
Yes.
And he's trying to destroy us for a reason, because he knows that we're God's children. There are some that are chosen, but we're his actual children.
And then they consistently hide the past, because even when you talk about the Dylan Roof thing, people, one thing that they don't ever mention is that church was created by Demar Vesey. Demar Vesey created the largest revolt and enslavement in the history of America. Dylan Roof made that attack the day before the anniversary.
Was it also an AME Baptist church?
AME. It's an AME church.
It wasn't Richard Allen, the father of an AME church?
I think it wasn't that the oldest.
It was the oldest church.
It was the oldest.
AME.
Like I said, it was the day before the anniversary of that revolt.
Wow.
Come on.
And see, they don't talk about that. They talk about the manifesto. They talk about the violence. They talk about everything, but the fact that that wasn't coincidental. It was a thought out process. And that's because if they start talking about that, that leads you to believe that young man was led to that situation. That isn't I'm a crazy young man.
Right.
That is someone, like when you read the manifesto of that dude who what is it, Uvalde, Texas.
Yeah.
You read the manifesto. That's not a 16-year-old dude wrote that. You read the manifesto of the dude in Buffalo. That's not a 19-year-old thought process. He would have to be genius level, and if he was that smart, he wouldn't have tried it. That lets you know that these people are being put in place because they need to suppress the greatness that comes along with us.
No, absolutely. It's that fear planting. Somebody's taking something from you.
And that's
something is you're going to be extinct. Somebody's pushing you out. Well, the last time I checked, you're not out here cutting these grasses. You're not out here babysitting your kids. You're not out here pulling crops and working on. Last time I checked, they taking our jobs. No, you're not out there working. You're not doing labor work.
Right.
I don't see you building highways and fixing potholes.
Never have work.
What are you talking about? You can't even pick your own cotton.
Looking for the CEO jobs. That's why they getting
everything.
Stop.
And that replacement theory thing was started with Abraham Lincoln.
Right, absolutely.
In his initial debate, he said, "I will not allow them to replace us." It's in the debate versus I think his name is Derek Smith. And he talked about I won't let them replace you in the voting places. I won't let them replace you as judges. So this is something that's been going on for a couple of years.
Right. Well, I actually Wilkes brought that out about Dylan Roof because it explains his treatment.
Oh,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in a vest, and they literally took you to Burger King.
Right.
Literally.
What you want?
The reward.
Mission.
He
Look, carried out the mission. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Somebody will get you some,
Thank you.
Carried it out.
And to your
absolutely.
point, when Abraham Lincoln was saying that, it was already too late at that point. They were already outnumbered at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
So you only gotten more outnumbered. You can't change it at this point.
You were outnumbered when you landed on the shores of Africa. Can I get you to stop?
That's it.
Stop.
They just don't want to believe it. They just keep believing the lie.
It's almost like this lie was started. It's kind of like, they're pushing you out. The natives are pushing you out, though. They're taking something from you.
Right.
Look at them. They're prospering. What are they going to do with all this land? They don't need all this land. There's enough room for us. If it is, then why are you slaughtering everybody?
You slaughtered, right.
Why are you bringing diseases to the land?
Yeah.
And this Columbus thing. I mean, come on.
Oh,
It don't even make no
Way
sense.
back then.
Don't
You
get
hear somebody's here, you say, I discovered it. It was like,
What did he do? Why are we celebrating him?
right.
Child, that was you were going to be born on Columbus Day. Thank you, Jesus.
Hey.
Hallelujah.
Right.
You know,
Hey,
so-
Trap, who was that on the Black Eagle? Columbus was going somewhere on somebody's money on somebody's time. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
where he was doing-
yeah. You know, Joe don't ever let him slide.
Come
Columbus
on,
Day
man.
roll around, Joe Madison tear him up every year.
Yeah, stop, man.
Joe Madison will not let you celebrate Columbus Day.
now,
He's not gonna let you call in. What you gonna do about it then? What you gonna do about it?
Huh?
Say that quote again, Wilkes. You said he was on somebody else's time.
Yeah, he's like Christopher Columbus. He didn't know where he was going and where he was coming from on somebody else's money.
He just said, boom, here I am.
Yeah.
He
He was like,
discovered.
man, stop, man. Come on.
That goes back to one of our early reviews. Exterminate all the brutes. If you have not
Absolutely.
seen that, go see that.
Absolutely.
Exterminate what?
Exterminate all the brutes. It's on HBO.
HBO Max.
It's a 4-part, wasn't it? Wasn't it 4-part?
Okay.
Four-part
Yeah.
series.
You should check that one out. You should check that one out.
I'm telling you, we at some point we are going to have to do the Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's not on Netflix. It's not on Amazon anymore. And I
No,
didn't finish it.
HBO Max. It's on HBO
Oh,
Max.
they moved it? Oh, they moved it.
No, it was always on HBO.
Oh, I thought it was on Amazon. I thought it was on Amazon.
Man,
Main reason why they killed anyone who attempted
I gotta
to
finish
unite.
that.
They had surveillance.
I
They
gotta,
had surveillance on Aretha Franklin.
yeah. Oh, I mean, oh gosh, absolutely.
Wow.
Because she started working with activists. She started working in the movement.
Yeah.
The minute you start wanting, go back to J. Edgar Hoover.
Yeah.
The minute you start trying to unite a people and move against the system,
Understand. Everything we've seen, he's always in the background.
always in,
Don't
we
let him
can't
do that. Don't-
because we can't allow you to because we cannot allow black people to put the formula together.
hey,
We can't allow you to nurture your own because we tried to tear your own down.
Damn.
We can't allow you to
We
feed
know how
your
to
own.
make- But we know how to do things behind the scenes. You don't even know. They so slow. That's all.
Exactly.
They so slow.
Exactly.
We don't been around the bend 10 times before you figured out.
Right.
We way ahead of you.
hey, the
Absolutely.
latest
You
video.
do an underground railroad 100 times.
Dumb and watch. Just watch.
You think I'm singing these Negro spirituals in this cotton field just to hear myself falsetto? Nah.
Right? And these patterns and these quilts. Come on here.
When we
Right.
talking about Tarantino, it just came to mind. In Django.
Ah,
With Samuel Jackson.
Right.
Samuel Jackson, he was actually running the plantation.
exactly. Low key.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
He turned them on.
Oh, Big Daddy.
No, not Big Daddy. The other one's Big Daddy.
Wait a
This is
minute.
Candyman. It's
Uh-huh.
Candyland.
Candyland.
Big Daddy was
Big Daddy was that Candy.
Oh, okay.
Big Daddy was Johnson.
That
Yeah.
killed me.
But Candyland, yeah, he was actually run. So just like my wife said, we running things. They don't know we running it.
Right.
They don't know.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Well, this has been a great episode. We're gonna kind of round it out here. I do want to bring up this last
Great.
question. So was it about making money? Because they talked about this. Was it about making money or was it about saving the lives? Because it became to be, we gotta make this money at all means possible. But it seemed like they were trying to save their own lives too.
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts.
I think it was a combination, making money, saving their own lives, plus putting repaying the whole system, kind of paying back the system where they've been oppressed and discriminated against for all these years. Now we're going to do something that no one else has done. Because remember, he said that, there's a lot of different UFO movies. They got a lot of pictures of UFOs.
Oh, yeah, when they were walking through Costco.
Mhm.
Right.
They're not even called UFOs no more. Yeah.
Right. So they were going to do something that hasn't been done as far as capturing this alien at a certain level that no one else has done.
And to Pastor Dodd, I've heard that before. I've heard that comment, but I don't I don't know how true or how much. I don't know. I've heard that a lot. Just
Mm.
like I heard Hitler's.
Hitler's.
Just like I've heard, like Hitler's mom was half Jewish, or she was Jewish, or something like that. Like I mean, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure. I wouldn't doubt it. So then that goes back to the self-hatred thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Malcolm X, who taught you to hate yourself?
Right.
Mm.
Thank you, Nope, for inspiring all this wonderful,
all of this greatness right here. And Theodore actually came up with a suggestion. I'm gonna talk to you guys about it. It's called Passing. It's on
Netflix. It's in black and white.
Well, yeah.
Maybe
I started that, but I hadn't finished it.
I didn't finish it either.
Yeah. I was trying to get mad. Yeah.
It was moving real slow. And I was like, I get back to this.
It was.
Yeah, it was kind of my emotions. Yeah.
It really was, because it was just like, oh no, what's happening?
Here we go again.
Like, what's happening right now?
Some of these films, man, it makes
like, are these low key trauma movies? Like, oh,
trauma porn.
We live in. Look, I said in one of these. I'm telling you, don't say not one word to me. I'm sorry.
Mama say that.
Let me just stay in the house.
That remind me of Pinky from next Friday. Don't say another word.
Don't say anything else.
Well, my husband is so nice, you know. But yeah, no, don't say nothing to me. No.
Yeah, really. Especially when you're tired, you just got home from work. Please.
No, after I watch one of the movies. That's what.
That reminds me of that clip of I don't know what movie this is, but Bernie Mac, when he's walking on the side of the train, and he just slapping him. It's not.
It's a Chris Rock movie.
It's something of the state. Some of the state.
Head of state.
Head of the state.
Yeah, that's a clever one.
Head of the state.
I think it's head of the state.
Oh, head of
Chris Rock running for office,
president or something, right?
Yeah, because they asked him. Yeah, because they asked Bernie Mac about NATO. He's like, "Oh, I don't talk about NATO. I don't know who. I don't talk about NATO behind his back. I don't know who that is."
Rest his soul.
Oh man.
But another great one by Jordan Peele. If you have not seen it, go see it. It's on Amazon. I watched it on Amazon. It's also on. Did everybody else watch it on Amazon?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think it's in the
That was Prime.
Prime. Yeah.
And it will be coming to Peacock. I don't know when. I was trying to hold out.
Didn't they say like through the 5th through something?
Yeah, they said by November.
I looked. Oh, by November. Okay, because I looked yesterday and it wasn't on there. But
no, it went down $2 since Friday. So
I know.
So what we always do on the show at the end, we give our final thoughts and then we give our mic rating. So we go from 0 being the worst, 5 being the best. You guys can give your final thoughts and rate it. Guess I'm gonna go to you guys first. Are you ready? You want me to come back to you?
You can come back to us.
Come back. Okay. All right, Wilkes.
I have to say, like I said, being a sci-fi lover, and I love small Easter eggs and things that kind of, as they say, it's a handshake or a nod to another genre or movie. Even the scene where they had the spacecraft or object on its side, and to me at that point it really did look like an all-seeing eye, because of the details and the retina, and if you've ever looked at your eye up close, it had those kind of textures there. But no, I thought it was done well. I have to say I did think it was garbage the first 10 minutes, but then I had to stop, and I was like, you know what? He's done Twilight Zone. I love Twilight Zone. You cannot let this guy fool you, because if you do, he will hoodwink you and pull the carpet from under your feet. So I enjoyed it. I probably would give it. I'm gonna probably hover around 4.5 mics.
Ooh, okay.
And that's only because I love sci-fi and I love what he did to Twilight Zone. And in this movie, I mean, like I said, we didn't even touch most of the things that were in here, and it went into a direction that I figured it would, because it's just so much to compound and talk about. So no, I have to give it 4.5 mics just because of my sci-fi side, and the crazy little quirks.
Yeah, definitely. All right, A-Trap.
I was going to give this like a 2.5, but after the conversation, we've done this a bunch of times. Whereas we talk about these films, you walk into the program on Monday evening going, "It's horrible." And the sad part about me is y'all making these references, and I caught every reference y'all made, and I'm going, so what was I thinking? This is, because the sad thing is this is my wheelhouse,
Yeah,
my thing.
That's why I was surprised at your initial.
Yeah, I was like, I wish I didn't see all the stuff that y'all were referencing. I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen. So
because I think, like I said earlier, it's one of those things where once again your eyes take it in, but your mind's trying to tell you, that first plane of your mind is trying to say you didn't see what you saw, but then once it gets past that first plane, it's like you really saw what you saw.
And I just read this book. I'm reading this book, and it's talking about what you see is not the reality in life. Right. Whatever you look at, it's not what you really see. That's what you thought you saw. Right. Like, I can see, I think I see books in the back, but they may not be books. Right. They may be movies. But I think I see books.
Real quick, to H-Rap's point, remember the last show we did last week? He put that image on the screen and he said, how many of you see a star?
Yes.
How many of you see the Star of David? He said, these images aren't really here. Your mind is telling you this is what you see.
Yeah.
If you've ever looked at a chart and you remember in science class, here's the funny thing. When the image passes through your mind or through your eyes, it's upside down.
Right.
Your brain flips it right side up.
Yeah.
So you get exactly.
So you can make sense of what you're looking at. So the eye and the mind it's just we'll leave that one to God to explain when I get there.
Right, exactly. He's the only one. He's the only one that can do that.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 too, simply because I was tripping when I watched it, and I'm glad I got enough time to watch it.
I'm about to say, go watch it again before it expires.
I got it back.
All right. Keisha says 4. She said 4 stars. We can take that as 4 mics. We do mics on this show, man.
Okay.
Radicare says 4 mics. All right, we're gonna kick it to our guests. Final thoughts.
Well, look, I'm gonna say 5.
Ooh, okay.
I am not a big TV person. I'm gonna say that. But when there's a movie that captures me like that, and to be honest, I want to watch it again just because of all that's been said.
Yeah.
But I want to say this to those that are watching: it's like you can watch it with your intellect, but then don't really watch it with your intellect, because you're gonna miss a lot of it. I sat there and kept wondering about, why is this key and these nickels standing straight up? I'm just tripping on that. My husband's like, look, you gotta watch the rest of the movie. Why are you thinking about that? I was like, I know that is behind that. I don't want to get beyond that.
Yes.
So my little infinite mind is tripping on that when this dude that gone way down the road, So watch it with your intellect, but then don't get in your head. Let this man
absolutely
guide you with his thought behind this whole thing. So I give it a 5.
And I just want to squeeze this in here real quick, because when the first lady mentioned the key, in my mind, when I thought about the key and the horse, I thought about wind-up toys as a little kid. Because you take that toy and you wind it up, it's gonna run across the floor. That's how my mind was. Like, that's what I was taking back when I saw that. The key is gonna wind the toy. The movie is.
I think about Upright.
Yes.
Upright.
Yep, that's right.
J and M, were they the last two? They still
they were upright. They were upright.
That shoe, they still look.
Well, that's my final thought. I give it the same rating, 5 mics, and I always recommend when you go to a Jordan Peele movie, you got to be ready to look beyond just the basic thing when you think is what the movie's about. So I was about something deeper, And a lot of people say they can be spiritual, it can be scientific, it can be, a whole number of things, racial, it can be, a whole number of things. But the thing I really take from is that when you look at the sister and brother, how they started out, at each other. And, when they was going into the guy from Jupiter Claims office, they wanted to come in with him. And when she got in there, they was at each other's throat, like, stop saying this. I'm trying to make the money. I'm trying to make the deal. You're doing it. But at the end,
girl power, strong sister.
At the end, the sister and brother. That's right. The sister came together.
Yeah.
And they were still in batteries and they were sewing up. They came up with a plan.
Right.
That plan was a cohesive design plan to trap this alien.
Oh yeah.
And what they did, they conquered something that no one else probably could conquer because they came together as one. Right. And that's what that was my plan.
Because even in that moment when she was capturing them or capturing that image, it was almost like, I'm going to expose you for the beast that you truly are.
Right.
Because nobody's going to believe me when I tell you.
Right.
It's one of those things where I have to expose you and I have to bring you out into the light for the world to see you.
Right.
It was also, it's like it was all, and then of course my mind, here I go again. It's like you don't worship me in the open, but unfortunately in front of my Father I would have to deny you. Because it's one of those things where it's like, oh, you want to keep this little small thing to yourself, but let me, show my blessings through you when you show me out. It's like, show yourself worthy of these works when you're out, but then I shine through you so that they may see the works in you. My head was going all over the place.
that's the greatness of Jordan Peele, man. So my final thoughts, I felt like this was a great movie to review. Anything Jordan Peele puts out, I'm gonna see it because it's thought provoking, and he's gonna put us in it. We are gonna be the starring cast.
Oh, absolutely.
The secondary people are gonna be like the Asian guy in this or the other characters, but we are gonna be the main cast. I appreciate that and everything he does. So I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm gonna agree with the chat. We got Raider Kev and Christian, so I'm gonna give it a 4. But I felt like Jordan Peele did another amazing job. Like Us, I didn't understand Us, but now watching this, I feel like I need to go back and watch Us so I can get a better grasp of it. Yeah. And I think too, Wilkes, when you were talking about showing the beasts for who they are, we talk about some white people, I'm not gonna say all, that were saying we were the savages and we were this and we were that.
Right.
That was them putting that on us. And I think
absolutely.
This is almost a tie to Trump. People didn't believe how some of these people are.
Right.
They really are that way. Like,
really. This is like who I am. Yeah, right.
They are the animals and the savages that they said that we were. So
absolutely.
That's another tie-in. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4. And at the very end, what we normally do, we kind of go around and talk about what we have coming up next on our shows. So coming up next week on the Fourcast, we'll be reviewing Day Shift, new Jamie Foxx film. Jamie Foxx, Snoop is in it. Very, very.
That movie won't be deep. Trust me.
No, very peculiar theme with them two in it.
Yeah.
So it was good though. It was good.
It was good for what? Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It was good for what it was because, one, it's like, okay, it's the West Coast. It's great to see Snoop in there. It's great to see Jamie Foxx doing his thing out in LA, outside of movies, and he's coming out. It's just the whole setting, and then just for what it was for face value, it's like, okay, it's gonna be comedic, it's gonna be ridiculous, it's gonna be Jamie Foxx, and then it's like, with me growing up with Snoop Dogg, it's like, man, I remember him, growing up, and it's like he's everywhere now. Like I mean, pop culture. He's almost like after a while he could be Granddaddy Snoop. So it's like,
he was cooking fettuccine Alfredo with Martha Stewart.
Right, exactly. He got Martha Stewart and Snoop. Come on,
no more range.
Yeah, who don't want to watch that, man? Martha Stewart and Snoop cooking together. Come on, man.
Exactly.
And who'd ever thought she would have been the one with the background?
Right.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, an ankle monitor.
Murder was the case that they gave her, not Steve.
Yeah, exactly. Wrapping them up in fitted sheets. Yeah.
Right. So there will be no Queen 3 and King tomorrow. So I just wanted to shout that out. Sudds-R-Us, you guys already know what you're talking about on Saturday?
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we doing this series, why do people do what they do? Why do people say what they say? Why do they act the way they act?
Oh man.
So we're gonna be doing part 2. We talked about DNA and the psychological disorder and mental disorders as to why people act and do the certain things they do. And then part 2, we're going to talk about childhood, trauma, some type of trauma or physical, even sexual abuse as a child. And we'll probably go on that. We probably combine part 2 with that, as well as drug and alcohol addiction. It can influence why you do and say certain things or act the way you act. So that's what we're going to do this week.
Okay. All right. Coming up Saturday, that's at 3 Central, 4 Eastern, right here on BS3 TV network on all the platforms. And then tomorrow, what's coming up on End of the Bench?
End of the Bench going to be it's going to be kind of short tomorrow, but I do want to just talk about how to not be somebody's friend. Our community has this thing in which we don't know how to not be your friend. We know how to be your friend. Hey, what's up, buddy? We laugh and joke, but when I don't like you, I don't have to bury you. Right. You know what I mean? I ain't got to recruit people. Hey, Ben, don't like Wilkes. And that's what we end up doing in a lot of cases. I'm gonna talk about that, and then I'm gonna talk about we got to reprogram ourselves. The internet has really done a number on our community. I got this idea from one of me and Wilkes' favorite people, Joe Madison. He said it's Facebook detrimental, and my comment to Joe Madison was, it's almost as deadly as crack has been.
Absolutely.
And it was this Muslim dude. He's been viral lately, and he was talking about how China controls the algorithms, and like if you and I've noticed, me and Big Illinois, we talked about this maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Whatever you like, that's what comes up on your timeline, and whatever we share comes up on our timeline. So I'm gonna ask people to let's reprogram ourselves and let's start sharing. Like it's this group of things. Like it's these people. They walk up on you and they ask you basic questions like how many states in the United States, and people like 58, and and it's funny, ha. Right. But it's really just programming you to not know things that we used to know at about 3rd grade.
H-Rap
Jimmy Kimmel does that all the time.
H-Rap just touched on something that I didn't think about, and it's been years now. And I don't know if anybody's noticed this, but I've had somebody say something or talked about a product, whether it be a shoe, whether it be a vacation spot, and it has popped up on my phone without me searching it.
Yes.
Why is it that if I talk positive or I speak the word of God, or if I don't speak the word of God and just speak positive, pop up? I don't understand why does that's fine. Hey, trust me, I want to keep on.
There we go.
You mentioned that one more thing, and then because I just want to comment A-Trap on this show, but we did a show a few months ago, and we had guests from Celebrate Recovery from our church, and he actually said that Facebook is the devil.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. People when Facebook and when Facebook and Instagram goes offline, the world cannot function.
Wow, that was a crazy. What was that?
What about my likes? Well, forget your likes. You don't need 2.5 million people.
And my 10,000 selfies that I'm gonna put up every day. It's like, really?
Right.
Do you really?
I literally read somebody say, I went crazy yesterday without Facebook. I'm like, you went crazy.
Something is wrong because outside is passing you by.
We don't have time for that. That's a young generation. comparing themselves. Oh, look at this. They're so glamorous. And baby, you don't know what. That's
called thirsty and fake. Most of that on there is not even real.
Not even real.
And like I tell people, yes, I have social media, but I have notifications turned off. I scroll through when I feel like I need to scroll through. And even then, when I feel like, okay, that's enough. I'm done.
I just recently, maybe you can talk about this. We add into your show, HR, but you can set timers on the apps.
Yeah.
So I have an hour timer on each app for the whole day, and you'd be surprised when that time, how long it takes for that timer to go off, how short or long it takes.
But to Ben's point, why is it now all of a sudden we've created this monster? Back to Jordan Peele, we've created this beast, this beautiful beast. And now we're trying to reel it in.
Yeah. Now we're trying to reverse.
We've already released it.
Control. It's not. It's really almost like garbage on there.
Yeah.
You know, and if I post my spiritual for the day, whatever that may be, and I need to be done.
Because your eyes are a window to the mind. I'm telling you, that movie, Jordan Peele, when I saw the shape of that spacecraft, I was like, it's taking in all this trash and we're filtering it. And we're keeping the things we don't, and we're throwing out the things we might need.
Right.
And the last thing I'm going to talk about is Pastor Warnock, Senator Warnock versus Herschel Walker, and how Herschel Walker is pretty much the Manchurian candidate.
Oh, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
We have been dumbed down as a society to the point whereas there is no way, let's just say 30 years ago, 1990, there's no way someone who lies as much as Herschel Walker. First of all, there's nothing wrong with having a mental illness, but there's no way you could run for office and you've openly admitted you have 28 personalities inside your head.
Right. There's no way.
There's no way. He openly admitted he is a schizophrenic.
Wow.
And this is what we're stacking up next to Dr. Reverend Raphael. Look, this dude, we got one dude who's walking in the shoes of Bozo the Clown, and we got another dude who is literally walking in the shoes of Dr. King.
We don't want, the society doesn't want something that's palatable.
Right.
We don't want something that we can use and prosper from.
Right.
But it's still a mind manipulating trick.
Absolutely.
Now you know he's a puppet, and you know who's trained.
Absolutely.
And they the vote. Like,
I mean, look at Stacey Dash.
Right.
They think we're so dumb, but the thing is, well, how many people are not registered here in Georgia? Tell them.
There's a million people that's not registered in Georgia. There's 1.2 million that's not registered in Georgia, and 600,000 of those are black.
See?
Right, because it's that what I need to vote for. They're not gonna do what I need them to do. That's not the point.
And then they create this bravado that we're supposed to choose because he's a football player and he's black and he can barely read.
Right.
Yeah. And then it's just
what did Malcolm X say? Every time a black person says something, they got to go find the other black person, one person that's going to disagree with that.
Right.
That's a first take argument.
Right. You got a dude who literally brought $50 billion into the state.
Mm-hmm.
And you got another dude who was living in Texas until it was time to run for office.
Right.
Now, what time does your show come on?
6 p.m. tomorrow. Well, 7 p.m. your time.
7 p.m.
7. Okay.
I'll send it to you guys.
Yeah, because I don't ever see it pop up. Like, what? Wait, you out with BS3?
Oh no, I got my own network.
Come on over here. What you doing? Popping up.
We already sold it. Yeah,
that's why it's not popping up.
Another bench. What?
That's the podcast name.
Yeah, send it on over, Trey.
But I'll send it to you.
One of our big supporters. Thank you, sir.
Oh yeah, every week.
Every week.
Yes,
Every week. And he's sharing the shows and everything. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Every week.
All right. So coming up next week, we got Day Shift. And thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you.
Oh, me and BJ this week too.
Oh yeah, on Thursday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah, A-Trap does a show with his son, A-Trap and B. I like how you did that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Nice.
Dive into a lot of a variety of topics. Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming up with 3. I'm coming up with 3. What we're doing is we're filtering in like the first 6-8 shows we were introducing ourselves to people, and now we're going to share our opinions on pop culture and life, the current events and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Okay.
So
right. Thank you, Sudds-R-Us, for coming on the show tonight.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome back.
That was great.
Yeah,
Great having you guys.
We're gonna last, but we lasted till 11:30.
I'll tell you, once we get talking, that time goes by.
Yeah.
We always try to wrap it up by 10, but that don't really happen.
We rarely wrap it at 10.
We keep going. So, Wilkes, as always, appreciate you, man, for your insight. And
thanks. No, I appreciate being here. I really love to have the pastor and the co-pastor on with us. That's always
No.
Oh no. That's okay.
But A-Trap, go ahead and close this out.
Well, as we say every week, thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys for supporting. Please comment. Like even after you log off, please comment, because the comments help the algorithm that drives people towards BS3. So even after you get off, make sure you comment and just type in yes if you want to. Just do it.
Put some heart. It don't matter.
Do something.
Put the mics.
Right. Yeah. Put your mics in there. And as usual, I salute Reggie O'Shea by saying, dream your dreams, and man up, woman up, and live your dreams, because life without dreams flows in black and white. Life with dreams flows in Technicolor surround sound. And y'all already know it's the middle of a recession. If I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God.
Peace, y'all. Have a good night.
Have a good day.
All right.